Yo, what's good people? Welcome back for war number 4 of the season. This time in SSx we are up against the New Mutant Alliance. And yeah, this is going to be a 6-fight war for me, kicking off here against this White Mags on Strike, Counter, Fury and Power Struggle. So team for the war is going to be having a White Mags of my own, and not just for placing pre-fights, he is going to get some action as well, taking one of my 6 fights. Torch and Warlock as well. So quite a nice team, champs. Yeah, Torch and Warlock in particular, champs I've used in war quite a lot, so 2 champs I'm generally quite comfortable with and enjoy playing. But yeah, you see here as well, just joining in, I've thrown on one of these 6-hour 20% boosts. I just had, quite fortunately now got a few of them going, so I thought this is a good opportunity to use one. As yeah, with the paths I was taking, I was going to have to wait part way through some of my fights to get cleared to continue again, so yeah, it just made sense for me to jerk one of these 6-hour ones on. I was like, at least that one will stick for all my fights. And yeah, just kind of not have to reapply one of the green boosts at least. But yeah, so we go into the first fight here. Against this White Mags, we're taking in Torch, no pre-fight, we're saving that for a later fight. But yeah, the aim here with this fight is literally just to manage the strike counter Fury. So we go in for a medium light, then into a heavy, go for another medium light. And now we know that as he gets a bar of power, we're going to get ours, so I just go for a combo into my special one, make sure I dump it off, and then I just go for the block as well, because ideally we don't want him to throw his special one. It's a lot, obviously, more difficult to dex than his special 2. So here again, we just get our combos, managing our what type of hit we're using, and then here we've got him over 2 bars as well, so I throw, again, just finish off a combo, throw the special one to reset my charges. And at this point I could go for the finish, but he's very, very close to special 3, and I don't want to risk that, you know, the next combo or whatever I do doesn't quite finish him off. Although I imagine doing a combo into then I would have got a bar of power as well, so that really should have finished off the fight. But you know, we're trying to play safe here. We don't want to potentially eat a special 3 and throw away a really silly attack bonus for no reason. So we get underway there with a nice confident start. Yeah, just take a little bit of extra block damage at the end of the fight, but it's all good. Nice comfy start. We now go in with White Mags against Kraven. So this is a fight really a bit more difficult in my head of, you know, how's it going to go. The pre-fight obviously means at least our debuff, like our stuns, aren't going to be shortened, because with Kraven, for every non-damaging debuff you put on him, I think he shortens the duration of them by whatever percent per, you know, charge he's got, up to 10. So it's almost similar to like Taskmaster, but his is a more progressive one rather than just becoming completely debuff immune. And yeah, otherwise we're going for this kind of style here, baiting his heavy at the start of the fight and heavy countering it. And you know, the main issue here with this fight actually is, so there's strike counter Fury again, brute force and power focus 1. The main issue is the power focus 1, because obviously if he throws his special 1 he can place traps, and that's where the fight can maybe get a bit more sketchy. So the aim here is just to, even though I know I can parry freely, just try and really block, and then, you know, if I get a reparry, great, but really play quite defensive and try to just not let him throw that special 1. Obviously duels to just be prepared if he does, maybe, you know, make sure I don't just throw specials too freely, just kind of keep them a little bit if I can. But yeah, nice, perfect fight there. In the end as well, we pushed him over 2 bars, so it would have been much better off baiting the special 2. And yeah, perfect fight. What could go wrong, right? Well, the red Wi-Fi symbol of death has popped up, and at this point I'm like, right, if this does disconnect, is it going to cut off the fight for me? Like, am I going to go in with half health and have lost an attack bonus for no reason, which is going to be really annoying? Or is it going to count and, you know, I'm stressing for no reason? And at this point I'm thinking like, right, I should be okay, because I did see the you know, Anaz wins kind of text pop up. I was like, maybe that's a sign that it's still at least registered the win. And then the disconnect happens, and I'm like, right, here's the moment of truth now, refresh the game, go back in. I was like, you know what, I dueled a lot. This was probably the fight of all my fights for this war that I dueled the most, just to really get the spacing and timings right. And I come back in, and it's, yeah, the disconnect has cut half my health and thrown away an attack bonus. So really frustrating. You know, you take all the precautions at this point, because it's something that's been happening in war for a long time, these disconnects. So you do everything, you know, you reset your game, you back in and out of fight screens if there's a bit of lag or whatever. You just make sure everything's smooth running, you know, the usual stops we'll take. But yeah, after a perfect fight, to lose an attack bonus like that is really annoying. Yeah, a couple of like level 5 health potions as well, wasted. So that's something I'll probably put a ticket in for and hopefully get sent back by Kabam. But at this point, obviously the worry now, I'm thinking is like, oh, it just went so smoothly last time, like what if it doesn't? But obviously, you know, I've just got to get it out of my head, right? We smashed it the first time, just do the same again, you know. And yeah, keep the timing right, just keep focused. Don't want to, you know, throw another attack bonus. And so far it's going perfectly fine, right? He's coming down 60% health now, going smoothly. We're getting the block up quick. We're making sure light ending combos or heavies as well. It's another thing. Not ending with the medium, just because that leaves you a bit more open and more susceptible to the defender throwing their special. So going for light ending and then just straight into block. And at this point as well, he was over 2 bars, so we're okay in that sense, and get the special off. And again, pretty much carbon copy of the first fight, so really good in that sense to just go in and kind of smash it again. While naturally in my head I would have been really irritated about the disconnect. But yeah, at this point I'm like, right, got my mojo back, we got that solo nice and clean, just forget about disconnect, keep moving, get into this ibom fight now for the third fight. So this one has conflictor, so we're going to put a wags pre-fight on it. He's also got hazard shift, shock / bleed. So obviously with Warlock he's bleed immune, so the ideal thing is to just try and do the hits in that phase and kind of just parry, dance around a bit in the shock phase. However, on the screen you might have also noticed there was a shock Odin pre-fight on it. Thankfully my buddy Nar had it spare. He didn't really need it for his fight, so he just chucked it on. Gives me 90% resistance, I believe, to shock damage, so it does mean I can play a bit more freely in the shock phase. Still, you don't want to stack like too many of them up, because naturally that you're just going to waste health that way. But it does mean, yeah, I can just do a few hits here and there in the shock phase to just make sure I don't get too backed up, help with just keeping that kind of map spacing. But yeah, on that, got my boost on. As you see, I'm chucking on some tech power back boosts. They're not for this fight actually, they're for a later fight against Green Goblin on path 7. But we just figure, well, we're going to be taking that one. We've got enough energy to reach that fight, so we may as well put them on for this. You see here as well, I have got the shock on me and it's barely ticking, so it's not too bad. Now I'll get a second one on me. I'm like, right, don't, you know, overdo it. But here we go, he's thrown a special one. I am a bit backed up at this point, but now he's into that bleed phase of the hazard shift. I'm also watching it kind of tick away and like, right, that was my opportunity to get away from the wall. I'm still kind of stuck here. But I'm like, right, just get your parries in. You should be fine to re-parry. His heavy as well is quite simple to dex. I know I've probably just jinxed myself, and at some point in the future I'm going to get hit by it. But no, yeah, it's just one movement in from his head. So yeah, quite easy. And then thankfully got the special 2 off there. Just create some distance now. Keep pushing this one, and yeah, there's not really much else to say with this fight. Obviously conflictor shrugged off some of my armor breaks there, so I didn't get as much damage out of that, and also couldn't quite get all the way back up to 2 bars with the power backs. But yeah, this is a smooth fight for Warlock. Bleed immune to the hazard shift, poison immune to obviously ibom, trying to put poisons on you. Pretty standard fight, and yeah, nice clean solo. So that's 3 out of 6 fights down. Going into the 4th fight of the war now, it's going to be Human Torch up against Ebony Maw. So he's got kinetic transference, he's got spite. Sorry, no, he doesn't have kinetic transference, that's on the next node, my bad. He's got spite, so obviously one solution here is potentially turn off dex, but I felt confident enough that I would be fine without turning off dex. My dex is on still in my masteries for this one. And yeah, other than that, torch pre-fight, so it's just going to melt him. The aim is going to be just keep the medium like mediums, obviously get those parries and re-parries to get my temperature up, so that when he does have his falter, I can't miss, and obviously aim is to not knock him down, so that's why the falter is important. Because yeah, rise to power, if you knock him down, he's just going to get more power when hitting into your block. So the idea is just medium, light, medium, all the way, no knockdowns, and yeah, watch him melt, really. Another thing was actually, because I had a spare House of X, I was going to chuck it on this fight, just completely forgot to apply it. So I do end up putting that on the next fight instead, but just wait and see how quick this one goes down. You can probably already tell. We've just started, there we go, the power stings kick. He's well below 40% health. We're like 20 seconds into this fight, and yeah, it's going nice and smooth. Throws another special one, so I would have eaten some nullify damage there, but thankfully he dies right as it's coming, so I don't lose too much health, which is nice. Though I think that was my last torch fight anyway, so I wouldn't have had to heal him up anyway for anything else. But yeah, we go into the 5th fight now, so this is the one with kinetic transference. And yeah, I think aspect of evolution as well, so just heal up Warlock now. Yeah, I think at this point just checking my boost as well. I decided, yeah, I believe I went for an advanced power boost here over the invulnerability, because simply I just wanted to get into my special 2 as quick as possible, get infection up, go to the special 2, and then yeah, basically Green Goblin is a conduit defender, so in this fight, once you've got your infection up, he's going to be heal blocked, and then you can just keep knocking him down, and that will apply the debuffs to the conduit defense tactic. And because he's heal blocked and he's trying to heal, he's just going to keep power draining, and it will make for a nice smooth fight. But yeah, so if in my head you'll see as well going into this fight, like I was only thinking of the special 2 knockdown and the armor breaks and stuff, but realistically, once you've got infection up, you just want to keep kind of like parry heavy, get the bleeds on him, other debuffs from the defense tactic, and just let him drain, manage his power that way. So you see early on here as well, his power is shooting up. We do need to get infection up, so we can start power draining him. Having a few reparries there certainly doesn't help. Really would have wanted to get in with the parries instantly. And here I get caught in a little bit of a cycle, because I'm blocking those special ones, right? And I'm like, right, so I'm gonna have to bait a special 2 here at some point. I get backed up, and then yeah, right in the corner, perfect full dex of the special 2. Very happy with that one. His special 2 is it's one of those ones that's quite scary. But early on in the fight, you see there as well, like that's what I was mentioning about. I could have probably got a heavy in earlier. I didn't have to wait for the special 2. You know, infection was up. Could have got a heavy in, and that would have helped with managing his power a bit. But anyway, we get the first special 2 off, and now this fight is pretty locked down. The one thing is just constantly kind of knocking him over a bar, and him getting power drained under it is really racking up the aspect of evolution side of the fight. So his damage, he's going to be hitting quite hard through my blocks, as you can see there. But yeah, with power backs on, it's pretty under control with Warlock. There's not too much danger. I guess the only annoying thing is just maybe the amount of health I've lost so far. Perhaps something that could have been managed a bit better, but yeah. Nice, easy solo, 5 fights in. It's going very, very smooth. Now we have the final fight of the war for me. So we've got Warlock up against a Mephisto here. He's got aspect of evolution. He's got enhanced special 2s, so they're going to hit harder. They're also going to be unblockable. And yeah, just at that point backing out just to make sure I was recording. Wasn't sure, but yeah, this one is going to be taken with Warlock again, because he's a conduit defender. It's pretty much a similar thought process to the Green Goblin fight. You want your infection up, and then you just want to knock him down, and that's going to help you manage his power. I am going to make a mistake here though. So immediately looking at this fight, and perfect time to bring up the mistake, because we're now on the boost screen. So I'm thinking, right, what boost do I want? I think I don't quite need to rush into an advanced power boost. I think, you know, I'll be okay to manage this fight. These are fine, but I think immediately could have just gone power start 1 boost, and that just, you know, would have helped me get to the first special 2 quicker. As you're going to see with this fight, one of the dangers is if it goes on too long and he's gaining a lot of power throughout the fight, going over bars a lot, aspect of evolution is really going to stack up. And then, you know, when he activates his aura and he's getting more power gain that way, even Warlock's going to find it quite tricky to manage that. So yeah, that was mistake one. Probably should have just gone with the power start one over the combat regen to be safe, but even bigger than that problem, I should have gone for power back boosts. You'll see my tech power back boosts have fallen off from my previous Warlock fights. And yeah, it was just one of those ones where I thought, having done that Green Goblin fight pretty comfortably, I was like, you know, I think I should be okay without the need for power bags with this one. I was like, I think I can manage it, get it down quick enough that I don't need it. But yeah, boy, Warlock, when you've got no suicides, no power backs, in a fight like this, it can take some time. And up till now, like, I've really got this fight under control as well. So he's going down at a good pace. We just, obviously, in keeping in mind when he hits 30% is when he's going to get that regen. So we want to get to that phase as quick as we can, and we're managing it quite well. But now we're getting backed up. Missing a few parries there doesn't help either, getting some damage on the block, but he's throwing a special one. At this point we're okay, but then you see there one heavy, shot him right over 2 bars, and thankfully he drained a bit, but now he's really activating that aura, and I am taking a lot of incinerate damage. We're getting backed right into the corner here. It's the mess that I mentioned can happen, and unfortunately I'm just so backed up I've had to throw my special 2 there when I really didn't want to. I wanted to get him beyond the 30% phase first, then throw it. I think if I could have done that, I would have secured the solo, but unfortunately I throw it there, and then yeah, backing up, eat a special one, completely on me, that last bit. But yeah, I think it was getting too tight on health regardless. I'm not sure if I hadn't eaten that special one, I'm not sure I would have got the solo anyway. I think the chip damage was just a bit too much. And yeah, lesson learned. It was a new fight to me, so it's one of those ones sometimes where you think you've asked all the questions you need to ask, but there's something that can slip away from you. But yeah, as long as you learn from it, it's usually it's okay. And thankfully, it's in a war that I think at the moment we're looking in control of. We should win. So yeah, don't hurt. Thankfully it doesn't hurt as bad as if it was throwing a war. But yeah, definitely annoying one to give away, one to learn from, and just yeah, in future it's quite clear this kind of fight you want those power backs on, just so you can cycle your special 2s, get the damage going, and really finish the fight quicker before aspect of evolution can get out of hand. But that's about it for this war video. So for the fights, and yeah, in terms of the results for the war, I'm actually heading out today for an evening out, so won't be around when the war finishes. But as you can see from the current scorecard, we finished all our fights, the win is in the bag. And yeah, obviously you don't know what their final score is going to be, but it's a win secured. We're now 3-1 up for the season. So yeah, this is brilliant. Good start to the season. Hopefully we can keep going from here, get that Masters finish we really want. But yeah, that's it for this video. Take care, and I'll see you in the next one.